Welcome back to another action-packed episode of the Deadly Podcast Kung Fu, brought to you by the Villains Man with myself, Justin Raymer, as I traverse the worlds of Marvel's most prolific martial artists in Iron Fist, Shang-Chi and the White Tiger. If you want to keep up the podcast, you can do so over on social media platforms, Twitter, X, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. If you want to keep up myself, Justin Raymer, you can do so over on all the social media platforms I just mentioned. Yes, I started Threads. And while you're doing that, you can keep up with the updates for my comic book number 1 issue, California Cannibal. One of my covers is finally finished. It's beautiful. It is posted on Instagram because it was shared there by the artist, whose name is May Coutinho. Not really sure how to pronounce that. She's a Brazilian painter. She does an excellent job. She's also doing some artwork for Big Bear Studios, who is new. So if you go to her Instagram page or her Facebook page, the cover is posted there. It's a homage to one of my favorite movies. She was very excited to do it. You can see the pages and some of her artwork for Big Bear there that's coming out later this year. So it's pretty exciting stuff. I'm in love with this thing, and then I will actually have some physical art for my comic book because this story is supposed to be 3 issues, and she's going to paint me a cover for every issue. So I'm pretty excited about that. Also, all my pages are done, inked, shaded, lettered. So I'm getting my covers together. I got to get some credit pages. I plan on putting some little bios for everybody that was involved in the book because I think I owe that to them. And then once I get started, I should get the link together for the Kickstarter. And I plan on releasing that on my birthday on April 13th as a gift to myself, which I think I've said here in previous episodes. I'm very, very excited for this, and I hope you all enjoy it. I would usually say something for the last, however, on the left. But we are still delayed with recording the very end of the podcast due to, life. Life always gets in the way. If you play at a D&D, Pathfinder, just a TTRPG table in general, life usually gets in the way. But I'm glad I kind of waited today here on the 18th of March to record this because the Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer dropped. And oh my God, was it amazing, spectacular, neighborhood, friendly, sensational, all the other Spider-Man objectives that describe the character. It reminded me, with everything that we see going on from the 90s and the 80s era of Spider-Man, where we've got 3 different series going on. And most of the time they're not tied to each other. There's always something going on in Peter Parker's life. And I love that. That's what I liked about James Gunn's Superman. It kind of reminded me of the time when we had 4 Superman books going on. There was always something going on, and there was always a centralized plot at the same time. So, love that trailer. We see the Hand. So that rumor, that heavy rumor, was true. Fighting Spider-Man at a prison, which makes me believe that Matt Murdock is going to be arrested here at the end of Daredevil Reborn Season 2 next week when it drops. I think it's the 24th, right? And I think I'm going to cover Iron Fist during Devil's Reign next week, which I should be able to do all in one episode because he's not in it a lot. I just want to kind of cover it, given that's kind of what we're getting is Devil's Reign here in Daredevil Born Again Season 2. But I think Matt gets arrested. He was Peter's lawyer. But he probably does not remember Peter Parker, but Pete wants to protect him, and the Hand's there to kill him and finish him off because he's in prison. Maybe the Kingpin gave him access, but I just want to kind of remind everybody, and some of us doing this, the Iron Fist is the sworn enemy of the Hand. We are being told there is a cameo for Iron Fist somewhere in Season 2 of Reborn Again, or Born Again, I don't know why I said Reborn Again. We all are hoping that it's Danny Rand covering Matt Murdock being Daredevil. And that will be the very final scene we get of Season 2. Is Daredevil beating up some thugs after Matt's been arrested. And we see the chi-glowing fist of Danny Rand. Because he's going to be Daredevil. Maybe he's in Brand New Day. I don't know. I kind of think we might have some other 6-arm mutation Spider-Man stuff going on. We see the Cocoon. We see him fall. He tries to save himself with web shooters. He doesn't, and then all of a sudden, something like he catches himself. Is it a web shooter? I don't know. Maybe it's a Daredevil Billy Club being launched wrapped around his hand. That's kind of what I'm hoping for. Even though I do like the other storyline, but man, we got to do totems, and we got to bring in Ezekiel and more than which I would love. But there's a lot going on in that trailer. We got some body swapping going on. Some people seem to think that's Mr. Negative in a way, because we do know he can influence people. Very exciting stuff. Very excited. And then we got Invincible that come out today, which kind of got forgotten about because of the brand new day trailer. But still, it's an exciting day. Kind of glad I called in today. But that's not what you're here to listen to. You're here to listen to me finish up this little bitty trilogy here, Master of Kung Fu, as we're getting into issue 82. The issue was released on August 28th, 1979, with 10 other titles from Marvel Comics. None of them have anything to do with this podcast. The title of issue 82 is Like a God Weeping Fire. Kind of fits maybe some of the stuff we see in the book. The creative team is pretty much your main three that we've got here so far. We got Doug Minch as your writer, Mike Zeck as pencils, Gene Day as your inks. We got Bob Sharon on colorist. I don't think I'm familiar with Bob at this point in the series. I do know that Diana Albers is on the letters. That one's new. And Roger Stern is your editor. The cover is done by Mike Zeck, and Gene Day is beautiful. And we see Shang-Chi leaping out of a helicopter that was flown by Liko Wu in the last issue. Clive Reston is climbing down the ladder, firing a pistol while they have Colt of the Leopard daggers thrown at them. Great, great cover. Man, I can't remember who was on Twitter not too long ago. Was talking about Shang-Chi. Always barefooted. And like I've mentioned this way early on in the episode. Like he's always barefoot. Like at one time he's in the sewers of London barefooted. Ugh. Like the only time I can ever recall him wearing shoes is during the Golden Dagger saga, which he wore boots because they were like up in the Arctic. So, like still, he's going to leap out of a helicopter and land barefooted. Like if he lands on a pebble, like he's going to be in some pain. But anyways, let's go ahead and get this story. There's not a whole lot to discuss with the issue. After finding Filosu's message instead of Leek's files, the team finds himself clueless as what to do next. But Fu Manchu has other plans as a leopard cult arrives at Smith's Scotland Castle to kidnap him and Melissa Greenville. They take Sir Dennis, but the former secretary of MI6 manages to escape in Clive's car. As the team returns to Clive's flat, Leeks informs him of what was in the information packet. It was a list of scientists that he believes Fu Manchu has been kidnapping. He can't recall their names, but he tells them why he believes Fu Manchu is in South America, and that's where the scientists are. He tells them a tale from a native in the Amazon rainforest. It is about how their god fell from the sky to live among them. In his name, they built him a paradise, and in return, he healed the people. Once his apostles arrived, giant screaming birds dropped flying gifts for the god during the nights. With these gifts, the god summoned magical thunder to bring the people flowing water. After hearing this tale, Leeks believe the god is no other than Fu Manchu after his plane found a newly built pagoda deep within the forest. This information puts everyone at odds with trusting Leeks due to the current situation with being hunted down by MI6. Clive Reston and Blackjack Tar question whether they can trust the information, but Liko Wu believes they can. With no other choice, the team heads back to Scotland. Nearing the castle, they spot Melissa trying to outrun the leopard cult. As the assassins run her car off the road, Clive opens fire as he and Shang-Chi leap out of the helicopter. A bullet kills one of them and sends the other two fleeing inside a nearby windmill. Shang-Chi gives chase and fights them both inside. The master of Kung Fu leads one to the top of the windmill as the other goes outside to cut off any escape. As the fight continues, Shang-Chi ducks the leaping assassin, causing it to fall out the window to its death. With one remaining, he quickly knocks him unconscious as Clive consoles a hysterical Melissa who tells them of Smith's kidnapping. This is a kind of a plot line that's been teased little by little, and it's kind of coming to fruition here, is that this wife, this I don't even call it a spy life right now, of espionage and all this, is like a little too much for her. And she is starting to crack. Now, in the beginning of this, when we're starting to get whiff of this in the first couple pages, I thought this love triangle between Clive Ress and Lee Kuan-Yew and Shang-Chi was about to start up, but I was kind of shocked that it wasn't. So as they're getting in the helicopter, Clive asks Liko, "Is Melissa okay?" "She's fine, Clive." But he hears Liko's hesitation. "But she's acting strange, quite unsure, nervous. She may not be suited for this kind of life." And he replies, "Who is?" She answers, "Yes, and I'm glad you said that without bitterness, Clive." Clive, in his condescending, nose turned up, cocky reply, "You mean I could have said something like, 'Don't flatter yourself, Wu. You haven't got a corner on the able female market.'" And she says something like that, "Yes." And he replies, "A month ago, Liko, I would have said it, but now," she interrupts him, "Do you love her?" "I don't know. I think so. I had gone with her with a clean slate, with no past history of such things. I love her as much as I breathe, but now something lacked. Something you and I once had before Mordello and Chi. I hope it's just time, and not some lousy inverted racial thing." "What do you mean, Clive?" "I mean, I still get pains in the gut every time I see you, Wu. There's something about your eyes, the shadows under your cheekbones, the sleek black hair, even the texture of your skin, some weird exotic attraction. I just can't." She says, "Clive," she cuts him off. He says, "Oh, don't worry, darling. I'm not going off the deep end again. Truth is, I'm still crawling back up from the last time I went over, that's all." She smiles. You'll make it, Clive." And he says, "Yeah, I know what you mean about Melissa being alone with Smith up in the castle. I guess she needs more worry. She's delicate." And then back at the castle, we kind of see the flip side to this. Smith says, "You've been extremely quiet, Miss Greenville. Anything wrong?" "Oh, nothing, Sir Dennis, beyond the fact that I'm sick of myself." "What am I? The helpless female, the awkward square peg that won't fit into the nice, neat round holes of the strong, fit, resourceful secret agents." And he says, "Now, Miss Greenville." She interrupts him. She's very angry. "Yes, now or never. By God in the British Isles, I'm going to change now. Little Miss Liko is going to start initiating me into the secrets of the stinking martial arts, and I'm going to, and she acts like she's about to, beat on his chest, and then she falls into Smith's arms. "Oh, God, Sir Dennis, I don't know what I'm going to do." He consoles her. There, Miss Greenville. Calm yourself. Nothing at all is going to happen to you. No one thinks any less of you merely because you can't shoot a gun or kick someone in the chin. I'm sure you'll be able to handle yourself in any situation." And conveniently at that time, the leopard colt burst in, attack him, and she freaks out. "No, not again, I can't take it. God help me, I just can't take it." And they chase her out of the building, and she gets in Smith's car and drives off. And then when the team sees her from the helicopter, she's talked to herself. "I tried, Sir Dennis, I tried. But I told you I was the weak link. And if they can catch me," and then the guys of the leopard colt that are in the van, "faster, force her off the road." Then they do. Clive shoots one, saves her, and then when he gets her, "I tried, I failed, I couldn't handle it, I couldn't take it, I was helpless." The fight goes on with Shang-Chi and these leopard colt guys. It's nothing to really talk about, even though Shang-Chi realizes that he can't fight these guys in close quarters. He needs some distance, and that's kind of telling to me, these guys are very, very trained. Close quarters, it's hard for Shang-Chi to deal with two of them. But then again, he's also been up all night from the caper with the London Museum and trying to find Leak's information packet. But he does manage to dodge. One goes out the window, it dies. Then he swings down on the windmill and kicks the other guy. I thought that was kind of comical. But anyway, she's kind of freaking out still at the end. "I failed, don't you see? I couldn't handle it. I failed, and let them kidnap Sir Dennis Nayland." So, either she's jealous of Lee Kuan-Yew, or she literally is just upset with being the weak link. Well, so I could see that going both ways, and we've kind of seen this throughout the last 30 issues here, since 51, when the Sea Fan attacked after the supposed death of Fu Manchu, and she was actually shot. And Clive had taken a liking to her because it was all Shang-Chi and Lee Kuan-Yew at that time. And apparently they just got it on during that story for the first time in a cave in the Arctic. It was kind of strange, but hey, whatever. I mean, but so yeah, she is the weak link, and it is getting to her. And maybe there is a little bit of jealousy there with Lee Kuan-Yew, because I'm pretty sure she knows of the past between her and Clive Reston. And then she sees how well she can take care of herself. So I like that that's kind of building up. This return of Fu Manchu, very Fu Manchu-ish. I love it. So as Leeks is telling the story, we see him talking to one of these natives from the Amazon rainforest. His tribe watches a meteor fall into the mountains. They go to the river or the lake or whatever it is. You can't really tell, but they're on a little paddle boat. And the water is on fire where it landed. And we see part of his ship door open up, or his pod, I guess, from his ship. And it is still on fire, and he walks out of it. We see him healing some of the natives who are sick. And we don't see his face this entire time. Like, not at all. Then we see some, looks like some Cobra henchman-esque sea fan that are there with Fu Manchu because he's got a radio. Maybe it was in his pod, I don't know. And then we see aircraft dropping crates off by parachute. Apparently these are full of explosives as he is blowing up parts of the waterfall to stem water to the people. And then we see his pagoda being built. So I like that he is presenting himself as a god. I think it's Maru was the guy who's training leper cult. We don't see him in this issue. And I figured he would show up by now. But if we're on to South America, obviously Shang-Chi's probably going to fight him. Now, the big thing we know from issue 80 that's kind of carried on here is, can we trust Leeks? Leeks died at the end of issue 81, but then another Leek showed up in 81. That Leeks went to Whitechapel to MI6, where he found his dead self in the back of Clive Reston and Blackjack Tar's car, and did the old switcheroo comedy bit, which was pretty funny. And when they ripped off the mask, it still looked like Leeks underneath it. And Doug Minch does a really good job of, like, doing the whole trust bit while they're talking about it in one page. Like, he sums everything up here. So, Clive, this is after they hear the story of Fu Manchu. So, he's kidnapping VIP, stashing them in the fortress, and doing Lord knows what with them. Now, where is it? Leek says, that's the problem. I can only pinpoint it within 100 square miles. The rest is up to you chaps. Tar says, one last question. How do we know we can trust you, Leeks? Quite frankly, you don't. That's the deuce pity of this whole affair. Always has been, especially when Fu rears his ugly head. Indeed, from the hints I've gathered, Nayland still doesn't know if he can trust Petrie. And as I've mentioned, that's in the last episode. That is a big thing because Petrie had been mind-controlled with Fu Manchu for so long, and we found that out during the Golden Dagger saga. And now, here we are. We have Leeks, and we've never met him. Petrie had been gone for a long time there during the series, and they found him in one of Fu Manchu's fortresses. And like this, I love that they're bringing all this up, because that one thing that I've been bringing up is now coming rearing its ugly head, as in he just mentioned with Fu Manchu. And Clive answers him, right, but if you have gone sour, Leeks, your speech could be no more than double talk. And he answers him, and I could bow out, leaving you to investigate on your own. Blackjack Tar steps back in. Nah, even if you're baiting a trap, it's better to meet it head on. Leek stands up. Thanks for the vote of confidence, old chap. Tar says, oh, don't take it that way, Leeks. Odds are you're more loyal than the Queen's chambermaid. Then Liko steps in and kind of dissolves the whole thing, and I like how she does it. She's got this really flirty smile on her face. I say he's too cute to be bad. And then, this is where it gets kind of, I wouldn't say creepy, it's a bit comical. Clive has a maid, right? And it's an older lady, close to Leek's age. And Leeks has been left here with her. after the last issue. She says, "I agree, Miss Wu, but I warn you, I've already staked my claim on him." And Clive says, "Why, Miss Haversham, I have no idea you were such a shameless hussy." Now let's leave the two lovebirds and get back to Smith. Man, it just got kind of kinky all of a sudden. Like, what's Leeks and this Miss Haversham doing while they were gone to the museum? What are they about to do? We don't know, but it gets a little kinky. It's a good way to diffuse this whole situation in this page, just with this one panel here. It really kind of breaks the tension and shows that you can kind of trust the Leeks. And I hope that's the case. Like I said in the last episode, I like this Leeks character. He's comical, and I hope it stays that way. But other than that, we still don't know about his body double. We still don't know what role Follow Sue plays in this. If she's with Fu Manchu, if she's working towards double cross, is she still at odds with him? Because ever since we've met her in the Daughter of Darkness story, like back in issue 26, or like she's opposed her father the entire time. So we don't know. So there is still a little mystery here that's got to be unraveled in regards to that. So, but not a whole lot to really break down in this book to get you excited, but it's just kind of wrapping up this little spot we have here, and then like I think the next issue, 6 issues, is like a whole arc. Or we're going down to the Amazon, which I think you're going to have to go back in like issue 23, 24, 25, I think is the first time we go down to Amazon, where we learn Fu Manchu's got a fortress down there, and he's forted then with some Nazis and some nasty shit like that. If you listen to Marvel by the Month, they've just recently covered that as well and have talked about it. So yeah, you can go back and listen to those episodes. I'm sure I'll bring them up again when I cover the next part of the story, much like I did when I started this series and we were talking about South America. That'll wrap up this episode of the Deadly Podcast Kung Fu. If you want to keep it podcast, please do so on social media platforms, Twitter, X, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky. If you like my music, check out Russian Tiger by Kuro on SoundCloud and YouTube. While you're on YouTube, subscribe to Bubba's Crazy Dinos. Listen to me and my son review kaiju and dinosaur toys. We've got about, probably right over 1,400 subscribers right now, and he's pretty excited about that. But most importantly, guys, support your local comic book shops and keep reading comics.